the original season 1 finale, From a Cradle to a Grave. This was a great season finale. It had some really shocking moments, and it had a great ending to the episode that really has me excited for season 2, with the weird dynamic that's going to come into play as far as the enemies of the originals. But it was a great episode. It was great to see it was just to say off the bat, it was great to see Rebecca come back in this episode, even if it was only a bit of a cameo for her taking Klaus's and Haley's baby to safety anywhere and everywhere she's going to be going. But I was actually looking her up in this episode, Claire Holt, and I was wondering, like, when is she coming back in this episode, and why did she leave? Because considering it's called The Originals, it's obviously, I didn't think it was a reason for them to write her out of the show so quickly. It was obviously done well, but I was looking up some stuff just to see when she might come back, and it was that she decided to leave the show. There was no bad blood or anything like that. She just her contract was up, and she kind of made a decision about her acting career and what she wanted to do. But it was great to see her back in this episode. And from what I read, she did say it was a temporary absence. She wasn't just leaving the show forever, and that was great to hear or read. And it was, of course, great to see her in this little ending episode. And she probably won't be in season 2 much, because it just makes perfect sense that she wouldn't just randomly come back into town. So hopefully a lot of things work out perfectly as far as this show, as well as what she decides she wants to do with her career, and we get to see her come back in like season 3 maybe, or late season 3, or possibly late season 2 if that's just how things work out. But if things go how I would expect them to, I would say it would be late season 3, based on some of the things that I'm guessing are gonna happen in this next season. But this was a great episode. Oddly, one of the things it did perfectly was just establish the great factors that are going to be in season 2. The big 3 enemies that we're going to be facing are clearly the Guerrero Wolves, where they're still in the human faction, which I can't wait to see how that plays out, because I want to see more of the human faction portrayed in this show. And it'll be great to see that the human faction is actually infiltrated by other werewolves, and that'll just be really great to see. So I'm excited for that to come through. We also have the greatest thing that I think we're going to see in season 2 is the fact that the original's parents are both alive. Their father, Michael, he's come back to life. He's been resurrected by Davina, which of course we knew was going to happen. And he was brought back in this episode, and he's built up his strength. He's taken out some of the vampires, and he has the White Oak Stake. And Davina basically cast an extra little spell within her spell to keep him on a leash, so she has complete control over him, and she's probably going to use him here and there to sort of make Klaus suffer, because that was her plan, but not to just kill him right off, because she wants him to suffer for the character that he is. So Michael's back, and I just can't wait to see what happens when they find this out. And I was really hoping that that Klaus would find out in this episode, and then he doesn't, and it's like, that sucks, because I wanted that tension to be there, and he just freaks out, and then something happens and Davina just takes him away and he can't find him or something. But he has no idea, neither does Elijah, but their father is alive. And then in the end of the episode, and it was great how they did this, because it was the last thing I expected, but the girl Cassie, who was the final girl to actually be resurrected, she gets brought back to life. But what happens is that the original's mother, Esther, actually, I guess she just kind of grabbed her soul, or used other witches to sort of trap her soul, and then she goes into the girl Cassie's body, a lot like Celeste did when she went from witch to witch. And that's what Esther did in the end of this episode. And she has a guy who's with her, so I'm very curious to see who he is, because I feel like he isn't there for no apparent reason. So it'll be interesting to see how powerful of a witch he is, and why he's her right hand man, because I'm sure it's not just to do this or do that. He has to be a very powerful witch, or know some pretty interesting spells that she heard from the other side, or something like that. She got some information on who this guy is, or maybe she brought him back too, because technically the only girl that's alive now, or I guess it's back down to 2 girls, it's Davina and Cassie / Esther, because the other 2 girls were killed during the ritual. And Genevieve was also killed because she fell during the ritual, so she was killed off. And then Haley kind of helped the ancestors by stabbing her in the stomach. But there are 2 girls now, so it's still kind of I was never fully sure exactly how things played out with the whole harvest stuff. Like, if these girls died, would someone else be brought back? And when the other witches were brought back before Sophie's niece was, it seemed like they could just jump in whenever they wanted because they were stronger. So, I yeah, I'm still a little bit confused. It's still up in the air, I guess, because two girls died, and Cassie was brought back, but it kind of went down from 3 to 1, so it left a lot of interesting spaces. So there could be two more witches that come back, and the guy could be one of them. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what his role is, and of course, what crazy spells Esther's gonna just be unleashing on everyone in this show, especially considering she's the mother of all witches. So I'm very excited to see that. But great season finale. Great to see little increments here and there. Like I said, they included the Guerrero Wolves, and that was towards the end of the episode. And the guy who is the traitor in Haley's clan. It was They were just etched in there towards the end to sort of show how Marcel is trying to betray them and how he was just really helping Klaus trick everyone and think that the baby was dead. But they're prominent characters now, and we're gonna of course get more of Haley's clan in the future. And even though she doesn't have the baby, she's still considered royalty, and she's also a hybrid now. So I don't know. Maybe she won't be royalty because she'll be like painted or something like that, and they'll just instantly betray her. But I highly doubt that they'll do that because that would just be messed up. But at the same time, it would kind of make sense. Her blood isn't technically pure anymore, and she will be a hybrid, which will make her a incredibly strong character in the second season. She won't be just targeted all the time and nearly as defenseless. She was really only defenseless because she couldn't do as much because she was pregnant, of course. But now that she's had her baby, and she's a hybrid completely, she'll be taking some people on, and she'll be just as ruthless as Klaus and Elijah probably in certain cases, because she has to kill these people off so that they can have their baby. And it was just a crazy episode, just like any other episode. So I'm excited for what her character has become, and it was insane because I thought she was gonna die when she technically did, and it was great to see her come back. That would have been really sad if she did, but it just would have went along with what this show does. They pull out crazy stuff and they kill people off, and ever since they killed off Sophie Devereaux, you never really know when someone's gonna come back, because she didn't, and Davina came back, and so did Haley. But sometimes they kill people and it's just permanent. But fortunately, Haley's back, and she is a hybrid, so she'll be a real strong character in season 2, and that's exciting to know. And Marcel is now working with Klaus, so that's good. He was also compelled to forget, so it is still just Klaus, Elijah, Rebecca, and Haley know that the baby's still alive, and Haley has to find a witch that she can trust. And it would be nice to see, even if it wasn't a whole episode, if it was sort of a side story with her in one of the episodes where she does find a witch that she can actually trust. That would be cool to see. But we'll have to wait until season 2 to find that stuff out. And all the death and stuff in this episode, they finished off technically a ton of vampires, and that was mostly due to Michael coming in and trying to regain his health, and he killed the one guy who is Marcel's right hand man now, since everyone else got killed off. But he killed him, so he's out of the show, sadly, and so are pretty much all the other vampires that went there. I'm sure there's still a ton of vampires in the city, but it's dwindled down very, very much, and the Guerrero Wolves are going to go at them, and then the witches are going to go at them. So once again, it's just the originals versus everybody. And Klaus is still going to be working with the wolves, but that plan's probably going to fall through, since he had to make everyone think that the baby was dead. He's going to kind of have to cut ties with them and not follow through with that plan. So we'll have to see if he can try to work that around and make it seem as if he's forgiven them because of this or that. But that plan is probably falling through at least a little bit, and he'll probably figure something out so that he can still use them as his army in a way. But it'll be a little bit different than what he was expecting, now that he's had to sort of create this huge lie and have his baby sent off to his sister. But it was a great season finale. I cannot wait to see how crazy things get in season 2. And I love the fact that everything has come full circle, and Marcel is back with the original, so he's in their good graces, and he's not banished or anything like that. And considering none of the other vampires really have huge roles in this show, it really does feel like there are only four vampires and everyone else is an enemy. But I'm sure they'll have their little army built back up again, and they'll have more people come into the city and stuff like that. But right now, it feels like there are only four vampires. It's Klaus, Elijah, Haley, and Marcel, two of which are technically hybrids. But it's really only four of them in their faction, and then everyone else just has giant clans of people with all sorts of weird agendas and secret plans and people coming back from the dead and all types of stuff. So I'm excited for season two. I cannot wait to see them go up against Michael because I really like his character. I always thought he was just a really good character. The actor is really good who plays him, and the character himself is actually written very well. And he's just the one person who can really go up against the originals and take them down. And of course, he has the White Oak stake, so that'll be introduced or at least revealed to the originals very early on. It'll probably be in the first episode. They'll realize that the White Oak stake is missing, and that means that someone has it that can use it against them and kill them permanently. So I'm really excited to see season two. But comment below, let me know what you guys thought of it, your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and just of course, what do you guys want to see for season two? Because with everything that went down, people dying, and of course people coming back to life, a lot of crazy stuff is going to happen. The Guerrero Wolves are going to be doing their own thing, trying to reclaim power from Haley and her clan. Esther's going to try to kill the baby, and then Michael is just going to try to kill off all vampires. So, and probably all werewolves too, considering certain things that happened with his family. He might just decide, I'm alive, I might as well just kill off all the werewolves too. So who knows what he really wants to do, and also how long Davina can actually control him, considering his magic, or his, well, yeah, his magic is that of Esther, the original witch. She might find out he's alive and break the spell that Davina has because it's her own spell and she knows it better than Davina ever could. So that could even happen. But what do you guys want to see happen in season two? Comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.